Hey, and we're back with a little post analysis with Moomin and Gamal. So, guys, what do you think of the first match?
Oh man, was that over quick?
That was a little quicker than I thought, man.
Well, it was a little bit unfortunate, I think, because obviously when you go and commit very heavy to E-War, basically you're dependent on the gods of RNG. So basically you make those rules and either they stick or they don't. And unfortunately for 13 legs and 65 toes, it didn't.
I was a little surprised to see that their team did not include any logistics whatsoever.
Yeah, I think that was one of those Hail Mary plays, wasn't it, really? Yeah, but that was the definition of all your eggs in one basket, for sure.
Yeah, I think Dodd said in chat, he said he stood by his comic aspect of his fleet, right? He was going all in.
Yeah, that's what I'd run with as well. It was a 2.5 minute match or thereabouts. And I mean, once they'd actually kind of those jams didn't go on and they weren't able to apply, then it was just going to be a time of erosion there. Still didn't see what happened to that hound. It's like, I know that Gommel said that he'd thought that he was targeted. It was the malediction that was taking all the fire initially, and I kind of missed where the hound actually went. But there we go. That was the only loss.
I don't have the replay at the moment, but I am fairly sure that the hound went down before the malediction was brought to structure.
Yeah, you could be right there. It's sort of like, wouldn't surprise me at all. Being old, I'm allowed to miss things.
Now, I hate to be, Monday morning quarterback, but it looks like they would have had a bit more success if they had gone after Buff Fresh in the Oneros. Was that in Oneros? I can't even remember. But if they had gone for their Logi first, that would have they would have been a bit better positioned to compete against Bomber Waffa.
I think that was the only play, right? And they didn't go for it. And not getting rid of that saved a lot of their ships.
But as I'm reading in chat, the need to jam boat was too strong, and I can definitely sympathize. I mean, there are some times when I just want to jam boat. Wait, what?
What, did you miss, Gamal?
Oh no, I was just kidding.
Okay. Alrighty, so we've got our next match coming up, right? Let's see who we've got.
Sounds like it.
So it looks like in game 2 here, right? We got Butts Incorporated and Wildly Inappropriate. 2 names that go pretty well together, don't they? So what do we got on these teams, Moomin?
I want to talk about Butts, really, because, who doesn't want to talk about Butts? Butts is actually being led by Jay Amazingness. So, I'm sure that we will be, and I hate myself for using these words, lots of dank frags and cool memes. I think that's what young people call some of these things anyway. And what about the other team there, Gommel? What do you know about them?
Let's see. The other team, wildly inappropriate. I was under the impression that Wild was the other, and was also in Bomber Waffa, but I guess not.
Well, he is in Bomber Waffa. I think this is actually him trying to usurp boat. So this is Wild's play to actually become the leader of Bomber Waffa.
God, why?
Wow. So we have a little bit of internal strife in this one, don't we?
Possibly a hostile takeover, yeah.
That would be terrible. I think we should rate their posts in order to determine the winner.
Well, keep me out of
that. So everybody is looking forward to fighting boats. So Wildly Inappropriate has to get past Butts in order to do that. So that will be interesting.
Very much so. And the thing is I know for sure that, if you just look at the pilot list there for Butts Inc., we've got a couple of relatively strong names there. And I mean, I'm just going by the pilot names that I actually see. So they might be bringing in slightly different characters there. We even have an interesting person from Theta Squad turning up, which is
Yep.
Fairy Toes. So it's unusual to see him out and about in combat, and it not being Theta related.
Well, it'll be good to see. It'll be good to see Veritas again in action. I know he's been doing a bit with Black Ops lately. Let's see how those gate camping skills translate into against the the camping skills of Wild, because I know he likes to camp and bomb gates sometimes.
Oh, very true. And I mean, it's like, I just hope that Wild hasn't brought a dread bomb with him, because that could end up going pretty badly for Jay.
It could. The challenge that we have too is we have some of these rosters that are pretty long, and we don't know who's going to show up on the field in the first run. So it'll be interesting to see who comes to the fight.
Oh, very much so. And I mean, I'm looking down like the rosters, and I mean, you can definitely spot the try-hard FCs. Like, they stand out a lot.
And you can see that Butts Incorporated has actually opted to go for a 6-person team as opposed to the 7-person squad of Wildly Inappropriate. Looks like they're going heavy on the battle cruisers.
Oh, all right. Looks like we have Matterall joining.
Oh, hey, Matterall.
Do we have him? Is he using his push to talk? We'll never know.
Matterall is in room, and I'm sure he'll be catching up with us very shortly.
You know what he's doing? He's probably off getting a drink. That's what he got to be doing.
Well, he does tend to go AFK a lot in his own show, I've noticed. So, can't say I blame him.
That will be great. So what else can we talk about in these two teams here? I mean, I like to refer to them, even though they're, listed as the home and away team. Let's just call them Wildly Inappropriate Butts Incorporated. How about that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think at this point there really is no home or away team, as they're more or less all home teams.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
Like, I actually think that it's a really interesting approach that we've taken on this, because this is obviously the Imperium tournament, which I hope you note also is the acronym for TIT. So we are watching TIT 2016 at the moment, and we've taken a very similar approach to what the USA does. I mean, obviously, you create the World Series where it's only generally kind of like teams from America. You've got American hand egg ball as well. And, because no one else would let us play with their own kind of tournaments, we decided to throw one ourselves. So, here we are. As far as we're concerned, we win no matter what. It's just like the MTACO fight itself.
I want to point out that occasionally in some sports we do invite Canada. Okay,
but only when you know you're going to win. Still, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I'm getting a little ping from Boat. He wants to come in and say hi. I think I'm going to try and find him here and bring him down.
Hey, what's up? I'm here as well. This is Buff Rush. How you doing?
Hey, Buff, how you doing, bro?
Okay, guys.
Matterall checking in too from MTACO.
Oh, Matterall, welcome here. How's it going in MTACO?
I had to listen to an FC, so I turned you down right when you introduced me, and I missed my cue. So apologize.
Sorry about that.
It's going well. A Badger just warped in, so now he's getting primaried.
So how many people you got over in MTACO at the moment then, Matterall?
We're looking at about 5250, so it was up to 5,300 just a few minutes ago.
And who's kind of like shown up there? I mean, was there, everyone's been on Reddit talking about valiantly, CO2 and Tess valiantly defending the Keep Star and fighting like lions, and they've been saying that for ages. Have you seen any of that?
No, I don't think they're gonna sacrifice too much. So they're running in bombers into this ball of battleships that NCPL put together, and basically you're seeing a kind of a turkey shoot where if a bomber gets close enough, he gets targeted and shot dead. I don't think the bombs are doing too much. It's hard to tell because we don't know. I don't know if my damage is coming from the Keep Star or bombers, but it's right now it's just we're armor tanked and it's just shield damage, so it's hard to tell.
Right, so you're actually currently in a kind of sub-cap kind of ship then yourself at the moment, yeah, or no?
Yeah, I'm not even sure Capitals are on the field yet, or if they will be. Depends on how much. The way these things go, you have to do a certain amount of damage to the Keep Star to keep it deteriorating until finally it gets destroyed. But if you do all the damage at once, it just gets mitigated. So you only ever do the damage cap that is available. And so you really just need to do persistent damage rather than overwhelming damage. And if the subcap groups can actually do enough damage to meet that cap, there's no reason to bring in heavier stuff. No problem.
Okay, well, it sounds like everyone's having fun up there. I mean, is that just like that slideshow that it was like the other week, or is it a bit smoother today?
It's unbelievably smooth for 5,000 people. It's never been, I mean, this would have crashed the game long ago. This would have totally crashed it. So it's amazing that it's ticking along, and it's ticking every 2 seconds or so, and that's pretty good. So I think they reinforced this node, and Jita is in tie-dye because they probably took the node from there.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Alrighty, we've got the teams entering the field. We're going to go over to the commentating. So.
Okay, so here we are. Yeah, match number 2. I'll just run us through Butts Inc. very quickly on the red team. So we have Balgon, Aneros, Navy Harbinger, Navy Brutix, Feeple, and Hound. We've got the Balgon being flown by Jerry, and not obviously seeing Jay in there. Who we got over on Wildly Inappropriate there?
Oh, we got Wild. We got Maximus Corpus in a Belgorn. Logistics by Mrs. M. And let's see, we've got a bit more small tackle, Krur, and Blackbird providing the Janet by Beast Mode Beast.
And we've got the match. It's already underway, and just trying to see whether or not we've got anything kind of developing there. The Blackbird has been targeted quite obviously quite early on, so normally you want to get Ebor away.
And Wildly Inappropriate, looks like they're trying to jam out Boy J and the Oneros while dealing a bit of damage to Chimera and the Hound.
That's it. So we're going to see whether or not that Hound will actually be able to hang on. But it looks like they've caught reps there from Boy J. I wonder who that could be. And we're still seeing the fight developing. It's kind of like not shaping up. As is often the case here, you can end up with a situation where you've got your mainline DPS, you've then got a Logi element, and then you've also going to have a kind of support wing as well. And that means that you can end up with 3 different fights at least, happening all at the same time.
Well, it looks like most of the E-War is being put on. Most of the E-War is being put on the Typhoon. They're trying to slow him down so that they can sensor damp him. I don't think it's really working though. But yeah, none of these ships have fallen.
Yeah, well, at the moment, it's it's going to be who applies that kind of damage and control better. I mean, just look at the control bars from Wildly Inappropriate there. I mean, it's up massively at this time.
Now, will they be able to break Butts Incorporated's tank? That is something we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's at the moment, I'm watching it. It's kind of really well balanced at this time. It's they're just chipping each other away. We can see that a lot of kind of E-War and NOS effects on the Balgon of Jerry there on the red team. You know, but there again, everything's kind of like holding like really well at the moment. It's very finely balanced. We'll have to see how that cap issue actually goes and whether or not they start swapping around and trying to test the Logi out.
So really, it all comes down to how well the Logi pilots work together or work in making sure that they switch targets and keep alive. Oh, there goes the first one. Arcsera goes
that
down.
Purifier has gone, and it's sort of like taken out of it. And we do see a lot of DPS actually being focused on the Aneris now of Yar Boy J. So we're going to see whether or not he can actually continue to tank that incoming damage, or whether or not it will finally be eroded from wildly inappropriate. Now, you know,
He seems
obviously
to have an active tank working on it himself. So
yeah, it is
So-
like, but it won't be like dual. So if he starts going to reload, then basically he needs to be out of the way. But with those webs on him and the target painter, you know, it could be interesting for them.
yeah, this might be the end of Butts Incorporated. Oh, there goes a Sweeple. I hate having to pronounce that name.
Yeah, it's like it's people down. It's sort of like, you know, the Butts are definitely starting to like kind of win that support war. But surprisingly, that Blackbird is still on the field, which can cause real problems for like Butts if they're not careful. So we can see that Nero still taking damage. He's just like being chipped at a little bit there. And, you know, as I say, like lots of control now from like both teams. So, you know, they're
Yeah.
both like working really hard at this. Kura taking a bit of damage now. We'll see whether
They're
or not they
starting to
get
web
into
him.
trouble.
He's webbed and pointed, so he's not going to be moving anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, but that
But he's
Neros
starting to
is
catch
almost
reps.
that Neros is almost it's in structure now. So, you know, it might just be hanging on there, but it might soon be space dust.
Almost. Oh, here it goes.
Yeah, and that's the logic component down now for Butts. And I mean, they've already played like a brave move. They've came in with fielding only 6 people, which is actually quite unusual because you want to have as many kind of players as possible, because that means that you get the most mid slots, the most kind of like options there for your actual team.
Well, this is incredibly exciting at this point because they've managed to loot, or they managed to take down 2 of their wildly inappropriate ships, but they've lost their Oneros in the process. And we're starting to see Veritas get chipped down into low armor.
Yeah, I think
he'll be the one to go next.
I think you'll find that's pronounced furry toes. And yes, he's sort of like, you know, he is definitely kind of taking a bit of hammering, but he's just kind of stopped taking damage for the moment. That Guardian, though, bam, there it goes. It's sort of like Guardian's out of play now. Butts are up 25-16 against Wildly Inappropriate. It is really now just like a DPS race. That Balgon is also like getting really low there.
Yep, he's about to hit structure. He's in low armor, and neither team really has any logistic support to offer.
Well, you know, we're just going to see. I do see kind of like, you know, reps coming onto that Navy Brutix, but, you know, structure is almost gone. He's so close.
Oh, it's probably structure tanked anyway.
Yeah, but that Balgon has gone, though. Maximus Corpus. He's like, boom, he's out of it.
That might be it. But Wild is still there on the field with his Typhoon fleet.
Yeah, but he might just be eye candy at the moment. But somehow that Navy Brutix is still in the game, and I'm not sure how.
They are tanky little bastards, those things.
Just have a look at
1%
it.
structure and still wrecking shop.
Well, you know, there we go.
There
It's
he
like
goes.
Fairy Toes has gone. Maybe someone was on the reload there, but you know, that was Heroic stuff there for sure. We're going to see now how Jay's team, Butts, actually starts to dismantle the rest of Wildly Inappropriate. But it's a big ask now for Wildly Inappropriate to actually come back from where they are. And the Fleet Typhoon of Wild, that's definitely taking damage now, so that's being chipped away at next.
I really am surprised at how this turned out. I thought Wildly Inappropriate would have been able to make short work of Butts Incorporated, but it turns out that the hull tanked Navy Brutix is probably what saved them, applying all that DPS to first take out the Guardian and then the tackle of Wildly Inappropriate.
Well, there again, it's like, it's definitely been an interesting lineup. I mean, coming in with less players, you would have expected them to have a harder time of it. Interesting that both teams did actually come in with Logi, though, this time round. That Fleet Typhoon of Wild is just hanging in there. He's got a bit of his own active tank there, but he's
either that or
armor
armor drones.
problems.
I'm seeing a lot of armor drones or Logi drones on the field. That might actually have been what tipped the balance in Butts Incorporated's favor.
Yeah, and that Blackbird, though, from B3 Ast, because I don't pronounce numbers as silly letters. So if you put numbers in your name, you deserve it. Just throwing that out there. Anyway, he's Wild's about to take a pounding now. He's almost gone. Just literally a matter of time. There again, Butts holding up incredibly well. They've lost the Eneros, which was a Logi. They've lost the Navy Brutix, which was a fair chunk of DPS. And it also really held the attention of Wildly Inappropriate for a long time. But there we go. It's Wildly Inappropriate. They've been cleared out. Butts got 70 points. Wildly got 29.
Out of control. Now that was a much, much longer match than the last one. So I really curious to see how Butts Incorporated, will they be going up against Bomberwaffe in the next round?
I don't know. Let's leave that one for the studio, though, to deal with, and we'll kind of hand back over.
That's
to
above
those
our pay
guys.
grade.
Yeah, that's it.